beautiful people. How are you? It's me, Kirsten, and this is the It's Giving Mystical podcast. And this is your weekly podcast for the week of September 6th, firmly in the beautiful month of September. Am I the only one? Like, September just makes me so happy. It feels so good here. The cool morning air, like the cool nights, the crickets. I love September. So we find ourselves finishing up this week of the tower, this last week we just came out of, and the energy of root shock was real. And there's something about the tower that always generates a little bit of insecurity or fear even. And I just want to remind you of the flip side of that, right? So there's like the sudden shock of being repotted, of the root shock, of the things I thought I could hold on to, things I thought I would live in forever, right? Houses I thought I would live in forever that seem to be changing shape around me. And while there's obviously the initial shock of why are these things changing, I want you to feel past that moment, and I want you to feel really this metaphor, this analogy of the new pot, the new plant, the plant finding its home in a new pot. Once you settle, like once that shock of the new texture hitting your skin, hitting your roots, if you kind of can sit with that and stay with that, what you feel beneath that, on the other side of that, is this invitation to stretch your root system further than it stretched before, to kind of take up more space than you have before. Stretching, it's like this big full-bodied stretch, this full cosmic energetic body stretch. I didn't even realize I've been holding myself so tightly. When you are on an airplane or you're in a confinement for a little while and then you stand up and it feels so good. It feels so good to take up my full space. So while the tower can generate a lot of vulnerability and rawness, and that's very real, and you need to be compassionate and kind to yourself in the discomfort of that, in the dysregulation of that, in the confusion of that, I do invite you, and I hope that you had a glimpse of it this past week, into this idea that once the shock wears off, once the initial shock wears off, isn't it nice out here? Isn't it nice in this new pot? Isn't it nice out here in the blue skies when you've been in an airplane or, in your house too long, or, in a car too long? Deep sigh, big stretch. Where do I find myself now? At least a part of me recognizes that constriction was too tight, that I was just limited, and now I'm not. Now I have more room to grow. It feels really good, and I hope that you had some sense of that in this past week. Even if it was a raw week, even if it was a tricky week, I hope you could feel the other side of that coin, which is room to grow, room to stretch, room to get more air, more breath, more spaciousness into your body and into your energetic field. Feels good. I hope that's coming through, or I hope you're like nodding your head, being like, yes, Kirsten, I felt that. Because tarot is not fooling around right now. The card I pulled for us this week is the devil. And I'm just going to preface that by saying, the devil is not nearly as scary as he's been made out to be. But more importantly, when I was shuffling, the sun fell out of the deck. And it's so interesting because last week we talked about that, and I was like, I don't take cards that fall out of the deck, but I do notice them because it sounds like it happens all the time. It actually doesn't. Normally when I'm shuffling, it's a pretty clean shuffle, and when I turn the card over, it's just that one card that's coming at me. Maybe there's an underlying that I notice. But this day, this shuffle, this week, the sun came out. Oh wow, we could all use a sunshine week after the tower. But when I kept shuffling and then I came to the other side of it, it was the devil that presented itself to us and to me. I just want to say that tempering the devil with the sun is another, you must be so sick of me saying this, but is another call to liberation. So the promise, when the sun is kind of hinting around or floating around the devil energy, the promise is whatever work you do to find yourself more free, to liberate yourself from old stories, old dynamics, old relationships, old structures, old narratives, old thought patterns, old nervous system responses, habitual reactivity, anything you do that just gestures towards moving into a new field, moving into a new space, is not only rewarded and not only applauded by both the devil and the energy around it, but it's magnified and made joyous by the energy of the sun being here with us too. So I just want to say that because we're going to talk about the devil, but there's something about the light on the other side, the liberation, the joy of liberation on the other side of this devil energy, on the other side of this week, that I think needs to be kind of prefaced and set up front. Okay, devil. People get the devil card and they're like, oh no. But I just heard a quote recently that was, a God denied is a demon born. Think about that phrase. A God denied is a demon born. And when I tell you that the energy of devil in the tarot is the invitation to recognize where you are bound, where your energy is bound, where your daily life is bound, what are the things that limit you, what are the things that bind you. I don't use the terminology like you're a God in form, but I do resonate with this idea of you are God in form, you are spirit in form, you are source in form, you are God in drag, right? That famous Ram Dass quote. But more importantly, like you are a song, man. I hope this makes sense and I feel it so clearly, and I hope that you feel it too on some level, or maybe with your whole body, that you come here perfect. Like you really come here perfect in all of your imperfection. And you come here as an experience of what it means to vibrate as you. Source energy, spirit, the oneness, God, goddess, whatever you want to call it, it wants to experience life like you. It wants to experience life as the vibration of you. That's perfectly done. Does that mean we're perfect? No, we're fucking hot messes. The most loving, the most miraculous, the most wonderful, the most awe-inspiring way. We are messy, dude, and we are confused, and we are balancing so many different impulses and inputs and bodily responses and bodily experiences. Like there's so much happening on all these different levels, and it's all messy and also perfectly done. And there's this idea that Source is experiencing life, living, incarnation, movement, unfolding, energetic experience and evolution through the vibration that is you. In that way, right, you are this limitless being that comes here in this, with this song, with this vibration, with this medicine. And when that is denied, like a demon is born, a God denied, your source denied, your magic denied, a demon is born. And that might sound like something out of a fantasy novel, but we're talking tarot here, and we're talking about the devil in tarot. The devil is just the other side of the coin of the angel in tarot. The devil is the one who reminds you not to take it so seriously. There's a quote that my cousin Maddie and I always toss around, and I don't even say it right anymore, but it still resonates so deeply, that the angels weep to know what it means to be human. Like the angels weep because they can't come here. They can't experience this delicious world. They can't have that very material incarnate experience of the world. There's a remove in their experience of this world that we don't have. We get to be in it. We get to be in the muck, right? In the mud, down in the trenches, feeling the world. And the angels weep for that. There's kind of a coldness or a removal or a distancing that happens. And the devil is the reminder, don't let the angels confuse you that there's a way to do this right. The devil comes to say, don't forget to laugh at yourself, to laugh at life, to laugh at the world, to recognize the folly and the mess, and like revel in it, It's such beautiful energy. So like the devil gets so maligned in tarot, the tower as well, but the tower is like it's a kind of structural experience, like a structural material experience of the world. The devil is this sense of humor, like this sense of, come on, man, like of course it's a mess. Of course you're perfect. Of course you are doing this funny thing that you do. Of course you don't want to do it anymore, and it might take you some time to actually make that change, and that's okay. There's this forgiveness and this compassion to devil energy that just reminds you that it's not so serious. We have such a brief moment here. And we get so tangled. We can get so tangled in what's important, when what's really important is to be here now. So basic, and such a task of a lifetime, right, to fully recognize that. The other thing with the devil is about how you are bound, how your energy is bound, and what you are in service to, what you are in devotion to, what you kneel down to. There's probably a part of us that's like, fuck you, I don't kneel down to anybody. I just talked to my girlfriend and I was like, I don't answer to anybody. It's like, yeah, Kirsten. And also the minute your phone texts from one of your kids, like you're on it, right? So there's something about this idea of like, what are you in service to? And for me, one of them is always motherhood that always comes. And it's always this recognition of, I am in service to my children. I am devoted to them. I am here kind of on my knees, working with my hands to create the environment they need to blossom, they need to bloom, they need to thrive in, they need to feel safe, they need to feel loved in. Am I doing it imperfectly? Damn straight I am. But am I doing it with my whole heart? Yes. And the difference is, I have to, I get to. You guys have heard me say that before. You've probably heard a million other people say that on like TikTok or Instagram. But shifting the energy of what you are devoted to from I have to, like this is what I gotta do, I gotta dinner, I gotta make it this, I gotta do that, to I get to, like I chose this. I am God in drag. I am source experiencing itself as Kirsten in this lifetime. And I am making choices. I am a powerful, powerful being making choices. And so the idea of I get to shifts the energy completely. So next time you find yourself in that energy of, oh, I have to do this or I have to do that. It could be related to your work, your family, your relationships. I want you to pause for a moment and say, do I choose this? Like I get to. And if you can't find enthusiasm and gratitude behind the I get to, like I have to pick my daughter up at school. No, dude, you fucking get to. This is me. I'm talking to me right now. You fucking get to. You have a job that allows you flexibility. You have a car and the money to put gas in it. You are healthy in your body and strong and clear and trustable that you get to get in your beautiful little car. It's not that beautiful, but it's my good home car. My car, and I get to put on any music I like, and I get to drive on this beautiful September day, and I get to show up and look at that beautiful girl get in my car, and I get to hear all about her day. I get to. Does that mean I'm not tired sometimes? Damn, of course I'm tired. But I choose that. And the alternative is if you have to say I have to, and then your mind goes to I get to, and then you go, I don't really want to, right? So there's some dynamic or relationship where you have been in service to it, you have been devoted to it, you have been on your knees in front of it, and it's feeling like a burden. It's weighing you down, it's binding your energy. And when you take the energy of I get to and you shine that light on it, there's no joy, there's no aliveness, there's no gratitude, there's no revelation of how lucky you are that this is what you've chosen to be devoted to. That's very eye-opening. And that's where the devil comes in. The devil comes in to say, dude, we're all bound to something. We all answer to someone. But you also get to choose, you beautiful little goddess. You get to choose what you're in devotion to. So if when you turn that energy to something and you try the I get to exercise and you can't muster up the energy, like you can't get excited about it, think about that. Allow that truth to sit with you. Like allow the devil to come with you and be like, interesting, and to laugh about it. Interesting. This thing feels so important, so heavy, and it also doesn't feel right anymore. It doesn't feel alive anymore. It doesn't feel joyful anymore. There's no gratitude. There's no richness in it. And I know you guys, if you're listening to my podcast, you know me going on and on about Aslan going to school, but my older daughter going off to school. One of the reasons that transition was so root shaking for me was because there was a recognition of like, oh, I've been devoted to her for 18 years. Happily, I'm sure begrudgingly sometimes. My experience of motherhood is that it was a complete like tearing down of the person I was and a rebuilding into the kind of mother I wanted to be. And then she walks away. And I know she's not gone and our relationship is beautiful and all of that, but there's a reorientation, right? Like she goes out into the world. And me sitting here is like, oh, on my knees, devoted in service to this beautiful person. And she doesn't need me quite the way she used to. Our relationship is changing. Who I am as a mother is changing. And so, oh, isn't that interesting? What are the ways I'm still in service that are a little bit old and kind of dusty that need to be shaken off, examined? What roots need to be kind of clipped and cut, and what leaves need to be pulled off the tree to allow for new growth for her and I and for our relationship. So that's just interesting, right? And the devil is so your ally. So I guess in the darkest devil energy, like if I pulled the devil, I would say someone is binding you. Someone is like purposely binding your energy. And I would also say, I think I recorded a podcast like right when I first started podcasting, so I would cringe to go back and listen to it, but about protecting your energy. And the point of that was, yes, you can protect your energy. Like, yes, that is a valid thing to do. And also, when you feel the need to protect your energy, it's an invitation and a call back to feel into how strong, grounded, robust, in integrity, clear you are feeling in your own body. Because when we're feeling that, when we're feeling rooted and grounded and safe and strong and creative and excited and turned on by our life, and our voices are clear and our hearts are clear and there's truth around us, it's very hard for someone to bind our energy. Like it's hard for someone to get in into the field, right? Because that auric field is so powerful. It's such a powerful environmental energy. It's like a shifting atmosphere. It's very hard to penetrate that. It's hard to steal from that. So I say all that because in the darkest devil energy, sounds so, I don't know, like it's creepy. In the darkest devil energy, I would say someone is trying to bind you. And even if that's true, I want to remind you that you get to choose. Like even that is a choice, right? Even that is a choice. And yeah, even that is a choice. We can talk about people over the history of time who have been physically imprisoned, right? Physically limited, physically locked away. And the choices they can make in their own bodies and minds and fields to stay free. So that's like a very extreme example of devil. I'm just saying that to you because that's not what this week is about. This week has an element of sunshine to it. I've been saying this all year, and I'm so sorry if I sound like a broken record, but the 8 energy is trying to help you fall more fully into alignment. And into alignment means free. And into alignment means empowered. And into alignment means liberated. And so the Tower put you in a new pot. The devil is the part of your roots that don't want to stretch into the new soil, right? The devil is the part of you that's like, I won't survive in this new place. Okay. Maybe that's a fair thought. Maybe that's a fair curiosity, a fair wonder. But I ask you to feel into the other side of the coin. Like, what if I'm exactly where I'm meant to be? What does that mean? Where is my service? Where is my alignment? Where is my devotion? What is calling my energy back to me? Devil energy can be intimidating when you first see it, but I really offer it to you with a light hand, with a lot of humor this week. And just an awareness, like scanning your environment, scanning your daily experience with what am I in service to? Like my routines, my habits, my rituals, do they feel alive? Do they feel good? Like, am I doing the lemon water in the morning because I'm supposed to? Or am I doing the lemon water in the morning because it feels good, it tastes delicious, right? Because I feel like I want to take that sacred moment to, like, I don't know, brighten up my field and my mouth and my body. And so it's not what we're doing, but it's how we're doing it. And there's the devil energy feels like it's offering us this lens with which to look at our life to say, oh, right, that's a habit. That's a dynamic that I've gotten used to, but maybe it's not alive anymore. Maybe it doesn't serve me. Maybe it needs to be reinvigorated, re-looked at. Maybe I need to be unchained from it for a while and take a break and look back and say, wow, is that something I want to go back to? Is that something I want to be devoted to? So the devil is your friend. A God denied is a demon born. Like, recognize that fact. It's all like coins, right, with different faces, different sides, and none of them are right, none of them are wrong, and it's all messy and crazy and kooky to be human. And we can stay with ourselves with a lot of grace and compassion and curiosity, and we can liberate more of our light and our energy to feel more satisfied in our lives. That's what we're going for. Alignment, empowerment, liberation, freedom, expression, art, service, love. That's what we're doing here. So much love at you. Happy September. What can I tell you? Please come join me for the Tarot Mystery School. It's going to be amazing. We have such a nice group of people, and I've been thinking so much about the course. Like, I knew what the course was going to be, but it's kind of starting to come alive. And we have a pre-journey call on September 13th that's going to be really beautiful, and I would love for us all to be able to gather for that energy. If you can't make it, that's okay. It will be recorded and shared with you, but it would be lovely to have the whole cohort there together on the 13th. You maybe saw this on Instagram, but Stephen Feely, who is my shamanic energy teacher, the lovely human who guided me through the medicine wheel and shamanism, is coming to New Jersey in 2025. He will run, walking the wheel in shamanism is like a 18-month cycle, but it includes these 4 live weekends that are so profound and transformative and amazing. They're going to be at Salt House. I'm going to be assisting Stephen. I have some other incredible people coming in to assist Stephen, and it's going to be like magic. It's truly something I'm so looking forward to in this year ahead. So both of those things, reach out to me, talk to me, let's do that work together. And otherwise, just know I send love, I send light, and I believe in you. Like, I believe in wherever you are in the journey, and wherever you're going next, you are right on time. You are right on time. All right, bye. It's giving art. It's giving light you up and turn you on and set you free. It's giving curiosity. It's giving freedom. It's giving love. It's giving you are more magical and powerful than you can comprehend. It's It's giving, I don't know what's happening, but I am so here for it. It's giving you our pure potential. It's giving mystical.